A man by the name of Dr. John Hutton once said, "Hunting is not just a part of conservation, it is conservation." Hello, I want to cover the topic of hunting, specifically deer hunting with a bow today. Before I go into the actual method of hunting, I want to run over a couple of benefits of hunting. The number one benefit that I can think of is overpopulation, or prevention of overpopulation. Deer population without hunters would become largely overpopulated, and that would create significant damage to crops as well as significant road hazards. The deer strikes that we had today would be much more frequent than what they are today if we did not have hunters maintain that population. Also, another benefit of hunting is healthier meat. Now, compared in equal quantities side by side, venison and beef have venison to beef has lower calorie, higher protein, and lower fat levels than the equivalent in beef. It also has 50% less trans fat, which makes it much healthier than beef itself. Also, it's free range, obviously, so that is a healthier aspect to it as well. Now, before you actually go to your stand, you want to make sure you choose a spot that has that you know the deer are going through. So you walk out, you pick a general area where you want to hunt. You look for those deer trails when you're going out walking in the woods. You want to do this at least 2 weeks before hunting season. So walk out in the woods in that general area where you want to hunt and look for those deer trails. The deer will pass through certain areas multiple times. They usually stick to the same paths. So look for those deer trails. They look like they're walking trails. They're pretty easy to see. You'll see deer tracks as well. As well as if there's any big bucks in the area, you'll see deer scrapes. That's where the bucks have scraped their antlers on the trees to remove that velvet layer, and they've taken the bark off the tree. It's pretty distinct and a very good indicator that there's a fairly large buck in that area, and he regularly passes through there. So that's an important thing to look for when finding a deer spot. Once you find your general area, it's important to find a good tree for your tree stand. Now, generally I try to put my tree stand about 30 feet off the ground. That provides a good elevation above the ground, so your scent is less likely to be picked up, and you are far enough above the ground where they're less likely to see you. But on top of being above the ground about 30 feet, you want to make sure you have some foliage around you, some smaller trees and such to help break up that layer. So if they do look up, they see that foliage helps to break you up, the image of yourself, so they won't see you as well. So look for some foliage, but you also want to make sure you have a clear shooting lane to your target area. So if there's any small limbs or trees in the way, it's important to cut those down at least 2 weeks before hunting season to make sure you have a good shooting lane and to not allow the deer to accept that disruption in the foliage, because they will notice any trees that have been cut down. So you don't want to do that right before deer. So you can try to do it at least a couple weeks out. So make sure you have a good shooting lane to your target area. And once you find your tree and you mounted your tree stand, it's important to bait. Now, baiting is, to me, the most important part of hunting, and it takes the most time. You have to, not the most time I should say, but you have to do it more frequently than anything else. Myself, I just hunt on the weekends, but I usually have to bait, or at least check my baits twice a week. So something you need to do, you can start doing a couple weeks before hunting season. Put some corn out, some apples, deer apples. They're usually pretty inexpensive. Even peanut butter to help attract the deer to that spot. You want that deer to be comfortable and to see that hunting spot as a source for food, so that'll keep them coming back regularly throughout the season. So bait it with some corn, deer apples, and peanut butter, and you'll be good to go. Now, before you actually get out to the tree stand, you need to prepare your bow. Now, this is my bow here. It's good to put up some bowstring wax on the string before every season. That'll help reduce the wear and tear on your bowstring, as well as reduce the noise. And also an important thing is to change this peep sight tubing before every hunting season. If you haven't changed this peep sight tubing, chances are it's dried out and it's starting to crack. Now when you pull it back, you can see how that could be a significant hazard. It could even cause you to go blind, so you do not want that breaking while that bowstring is pulled back. So make sure that's replaced and it's fresh. Also that your trigger release is working properly. This is an important tool to have as well. It allows you to, it simply works by pulling that trigger, but it allows you to hold that bowstring back a lot more stable, and allows you to hold it back for longer periods of time if need be. If that deer is not in your target area yet, you can pull it back and hold it for longer periods of time than if you were holding it with your fingers. So that's an important tool. Now before you go out to your deer stand, you want to make sure you get up early enough to cover your scent, take a shower and scent-free wash, do everything you can to mask your scent before you get out to that deer stand, and you'll have success. Now, in conclusion, deer hunting is a great way to enjoy the outdoors. It not only contributes to environmental conservation, but also enables you to be more self-sufficient and appreciative of how you obtain your meat. Hunting with a bow adds a lot of variables to a typical hunt, but it brings a greater sense of achievement when the hunt is a success. Thank you very much.